The words of Lord Enki, firstborn son of Anu, who reigns on Nibiru. With heavy spirit I utter laments, laments that are bitter fill my heart. How smitten is the land, its people delivered to the evil wind, its stables abandoned, its sheepfolds emptied. How smitten are the cities, their people piled up as dead corpses, afflicted by the evil wind. How smitten are the fields, their vegetation withered, touched by the evil wind. How smitten are the rivers, nothing swims any more, pure sparkling waters turned into poison. Of its black-headed people, Shumer is emptied. Gone is all life. Of its cattle and sheep, Shumer is emptied. Silent is the hum of churning milk. In its glorious cities only the wind howls. Death is the only smell. The temples whose heads to heaven arose by their gods have been abandoned. Of lordship and kingship command there is none. Scepter and tiara are gone. On the banks of the two great rivers, once lush and life-giving, only weeds grow. No one treads the highways, no one seeks out the roads. Flourishing Shumer is like an abandoned desert. How smitten is the land, home of gods and men. On that land a calamity fell, one unknown to man. A calamity that mankind had never before seen, one that could not be withstood. On all the lands from west to east a disruptive hand of terror was placed. The gods, in their cities, were as helpless as men. An evil wind, a storm born in a distant plain, a great calamity wrought in its path. A death-dealing wind, born in the west, its way to the east has made, its course set by fate. A storm, devouring as a deluge, by wind and not by water, a destroyer, by poisoned air, not tidal waves, overwhelming. By fate, not destiny, was it engendered. The great gods, in their council, the great calamity had caused. By Enlil and Ninharshag it was permitted. I alone for a halt was beseeching. Day and night to accept what the heavens decree I argued, to no avail. Ninurta, Enlil's warrior son, and Nergal, my very own son, poisoned weapons in the great plain then unleashed. That an evil wind shall follow the brilliance we knew not, they now cry in agony. That the death-dealing storm, born in the west, its course to the east shall make, who could foretell, the gods now bemoan. In their holy cities the gods stood disbelieving as the evil wind towards Shumer made its way. One after another the gods fled their cities, their temples abandoned to the wind. In my city, Eridu, as the poison cloud approached, I could do nothing to stop it. Escaped to the open steppe, to the people I gave instructions. With Ninki, my spouse, the city I abandoned. In his city Nippur, place of the bond heaven earth, Enlil could do nothing to stop it. The evil wind against Nippur was onrushing. In his celestial boat, Enlil and his spouse hurriedly took off. In Shumer's city of kingship, Nannar to his father Enlil for help cried. In the place of the temple that to heaven in 7 steps rises, Nannar, the hand of fate, refused to heed. My father who begot me, great God who to had granted kingship, turn the evil wind away, Nannar pleaded. Great God who decrees the fates, let and its people be spared, your praises to continue, Nannar appealed. Enlil answered his son Nannar, Noble son, your wondrous city kingship was granted, eternal reign it was not granted. Take hold of your spouse, Ningal, flee the city. Even I, who decree fates, its destiny I cannot bend. Thus did Enlil my brother speak. Alas, alas, not a destiny it was. A calamity none greater since the deluge gods and earthlings has befallen. Alas, not a destiny it was. The great deluge was destined to happen. The great calamity of death-dealing storm was not. By the breach of a vow, by a council decision it was caused. By weapons of terror was it created. By a decision, not destiny, were the poisoned weapons unleashed. By deliberation was the lot cast. Against Marduk, my firstborn, did the 2 sons destruction direct. Vengeance was in their hearts. Ascendancy is not Marduk's to grasp, Enlil's firstborn shouted. With weapons I shall oppose him, Ninurta said. Of people he raised an army, Babali as earth's navel to declare. Nergal, Marduk's brother, so shouted. In the council of the great gods, words of venom were spread. Day and night I raised my opposing voice, peace I counseled, deploring haste. For the second time the people have raised his heavenly image. Why does opposing continue? I asked in pleading. Have all the instruments been checked? Did not the era of Marduk in the heavens arrive? I once more inquired. Ningishita, my very son, other signs of heaven cited. His heart, I knew, Marduk's injustice to him could not forgive. Nannar, to Enlil on earth born, was unrelenting too. Marduk, my temple in the north city, his own abode made, so he said. Ishkur, Enlil's youngest, punishment demanded. In my lands to whore after him the people he made, he said. Utu, son of Nannar, at Marduk's son Nabu his wrath directed. The place of the celestial chariots he tried to seize. Inanna, twin of Utu, was furious of all. The punishment of Marduk for the killing of her beloved Dumuzi she still demanded. Ninharshag, mother of gods and men, her gaze diverted. Why is not Marduk here? She only said. Gibel, my own son, with gloom replied, Marduk has all entreaties put aside. By the signs of heaven his supremacy he claims. Only with weapons will Marduk be stopped. Ninurta, Enlil's firstborn, shouted. Utu, about protecting the place of the celestial chariots, was concerned. In Marduk's hands it must not fall, so he said. Nergal, lord of the lower domain, ferociously was demanding, let the olden weapons of terror for obliteration be used. At my own son I gazed in disbelief. For brother against brother the terror weapons had been forsworn. Instead of consent there was silence. In the silence Enlil opened his mouth. Punishment there must be. Like birds without wings the evildoers shall be. Marduk and Nebu us of heritage are depriving. Let them of the place of the celestial chariots be deprived. Let the place be scorched to oblivion, Ninurta shouted. The one who scorches let me be. Excited, Nergal stood up and shouted, let the evildoers' cities also be upheavaled. The sinning cities let me obliterate. Let the annihilator my name thereafter be. The earthlings, by us created, must not be harmed. The righteous with the sinners must not be perished, I forcefully said. Ninharshag, my creating helpmate, was consenting. The matter is between the gods alone to settle. The people must not be harmed. Anu, from the celestial abode, to the discussions was giving much heed. Anu, who determines fates, from his celestial abode his voice made heard. Let the weapons of terror be this once used. Let the place of the rocket ships be obliterated. Let the people be spared. Let Ninurta the Scorcher be. Let Nergal be the Annihilator. So did Enlil the decision announce. To them a secret of the gods I shall reveal. The hiding place of the terror weapons to them I shall disclose. The two sons, one mine, one his, to his inner chamber Enlil summoned. Nergal, as he went by me, his gaze averted. Alas, I cried out without words. Brother has turned against brother. Are the prior times fated to repeat? A secret from the olden times to them Enlil was revealing. The weapons of terror to their hands entrusting. Clad with terror, with a brilliance they are unleashed. All they touch to a dust heap they turn. For brother against brother on earth they are forsworn, neither region to affect. Now the oath was undone, like a broken jar in useless pieces. The two sons, full of glee, with quickened step from Enlil's chamber emerged, for the weapons departing. The other gods turned back to their cities. None of his own calamity had a foreboding.